All right, guys, how's it going? Well, as you can see, we have horrific weather here in Spain today. It's still better than it was in Newcastle yesterday when it was pissing down and grey and freezing cold. It's nice, it's warm here. It's just a little bit cloudy today. So I have been to the cafe, that's right, I've been to the cafe and I've reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. Obviously, we don't take what they say as gospel, but we like to see what they're saying, and I guess we're keeping a close eye on them, more so, or to do with Trent and Real Madrid, see what they're claiming. They're not saying anything about him at the moment, to be honest with you. There's nothing in this video about Trent. But I like to see also, what's happening with Mendy, Mamadashvili, and any other former Liverpool players, one of which we'll be mentioning in this video. So, like I say, there's nothing in this video to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold, guys. But I'll keep an eye on things for you. So we'll work through this and see what's what, right? So obviously, Real Madrid's Champions League victory last night dominates all of the Spanish football dailies today, including Sport, the pro Barcelona newspaper, if you like. Marca, they're all over it, as you can imagine, the Real Madrid mouthpiece, if you like. Those of you that were on last night's stream on here will know that I found €10 and 3 cents in my betting account ahead of the game, and I said, I'm going to put it all on Real Madrid. It was good odds, and so I was delighted. I think I made €25 profit, but I've got to be honest, I was laid in bed nodding off last night, and then every time there was a goal, I was like opening my eyes. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. In the article in Marca, they talk about the massive win, and say that the Whites are making good progress in all competitions, but have not been able to beat Barca, Atletico, Milan and Liverpool. The Man City, the banner, what did you think about the banner, the Stop Crying Your Heart Out banner? I thought it was a bit classless, to be honest with you. I don't know. The Spanish write, with the club's approval, City's fans unveiled a banner directed at Vinicius in response to his absence from the Ballon d'Or ceremony, where Rodri was honoured, of course. The Brazilian's decision to skip the event was as poorly received as City's message, which was anything but sportsmanlike. The reality is that despite Rodri denying it, Madrid's no-show at the Ballon d'Or ceremony did not sit well with City. It backfired immensely, didn't it? Vinicius was man of the match as well. I thought that was a bit bizarre, to be honest with you. Could you imagine anything like that at Anfield under those circumstances? Talking about Ballon d'Or, I don't know, very strange. I saw some great edited, Photoshop versions of that banner after the game. Marca talk about Raul Asensio's legal issues. I don't think everyone is aware of this. I don't think we've spoke about it before on here, but they basically report that Real Madrid centre-back Raul Asensio remains under investigation for allegedly sharing a sex tape involving a minor after a Spanish court rejected an appeal for the dismissal of the case. Asensio, along with 3 other former Real Madrid youth players, allegedly shared a video involving 2 women that was recorded in Gran Canaria in the summer of 2023. Now, court documents confirmed that one of the women was under the age of 16 when the incident took place. There are no rules in Spain regarding whether players can appear for their clubs while under investigation. It's up to each club to decide. Obviously, Real Madrid have had a defensive crisis, and he's an outstanding player. He made his debut for Madrid against Osasuna in early November and has been a regular, involved with the team since then. But yesterday, a court in Gran Canaria announced that an appeal on behalf of Asensio for the provisional dismissal of the case had been rejected. Now, moving on to AS, and they basically mirror Marca's coverage today. The win over Man City, also the Raul Asensio court case. They touch on the Copa del Rey semi-final draw, which is this afternoon. The remaining teams in that competition, which is the equivalent of our FA Cup, if you like. There's no League Cup in Spain, so it's quite a prestige competition. The teams left in are Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Martin Zubimendi's Real Sociedad. On to Sport. This is the Barcelona newspaper, if you like. Now, They talk about Newcastle United's interest in Malaga's 18-year-old winger, Antoñito. Newcastle is sniffing around the 18-year-old, and he's available on a free transfer in the summer. Both Real Madrid and Barcelona have been tracking him, and Liverpool scouts checked him out towards the end of last year. That wasn't mentioned in the papers. The Liverpool interest, if you like, that's just something that I'm aware of. That I've just something that I was aware of last year. There was a suggestion that Barcelona were willing to offer Malaga €2 million during the January window, which is £1.7 million, but nothing came of that. Now, Newcastle sporting director Paul Mitchell has recommended a recruitment attempt to the board. This player is primarily deployed as a left-sided winger, but he can also play as a right-sided winger or as an attacking midfielder through the centre. His stats this season in the Segunda division: 24 appearances, 4 goals, 6 assists. And the signing would be in line with Newcastle's new transfer policy of signing the most talented youngsters in Europe before the so-called elite clubs are able to, recruit them for 150 million. You know what I'm getting at there. They're trying to get in there, in there early, if you like. So yeah, this is a very good player. I've read about him a few times. I know Liverpool were, scouting him, looking at him last year, but we hear that so often today that many Liverpool supporters are like, yeah, whatever. But I do think that was a genuine interest in him, but as usual, nothing as yet. But it could be a name that you might want to listen out for. So it's Antonito. Antoñito. Unless it's Jack Daniels or John Smith, I can't fucking pronounce it. Right, let's move on. Now, here we go. We're moving on to a former Liverpool great here. Well, temporary Liverpool great, if you like. This is Arthur Melo. And it says here, Michel will no longer hold back his wild card. Arthur. The Brazilian is eager to make his debut, and after the defeat at San Mamés, Michel no longer wants to keep him on the sidelines as the team needs a player with his profile, according to Sport. The article says that Arthur Melo is desperate to play again. He's incredibly eager to showcase his talent on the pitch, his quality, as Rafa Benitez would say, for sure. Sorry, where I was at. His quality is undeniable. He was clear about wanting to continue competing at the highest level in Europe, which is why he chose Michel's Girona project over a lucrative offer from Santos. After a successful loan spell at Fiorentina, he found himself sidelined by Juventus, who had been looking to offload him for months. During this time, he worked with a personal trainer to stay in peak physical condition for any opportunity to return to the game. His last official match was May 29, 2024. And they say, imagine the wait. He endured difficult months and deeply missed the day-to-day of professional football, as he mentioned during his press conference, his presentation. And he said, I am at the coach's disposal. It was expected he might make his debut at San Mamés. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But he wasn't included in the squad. Patience was necessary as he was lacking match fitness and the sharpness needed to make an impact on the pitch. He looked thrilled and was smiling from ear to ear. I'm really excited to join a growing team. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to do things right, he said. Now, he had been available for Michel since Tuesday, the 4th of February, aiming to be ready for Girona's home match against Getafe on Friday. The club's social media post with training highlights generated excitement, showing Arthur happy and displaying his talent, which could be a game changer for Girona. Now, according to Sport, Arthur's debut won't be delayed any longer as he is expected to play some minutes against Getafe. He had been training cautiously but pushed himself to reach optimal fitness in time for the Athletic Club match. However, Michel opted to hold him back, allowing him to gradually adapt to the team's rhythm. But after Girona's painful defeat at San Mamés, whatever it is, it became evident that the team needs a player with Arthur's profile, a creative and organising midfielder. Now, before the match against Athletic, Michel was asked about Arthur's potential role. The Spanish coach sees him as a key player in Girona's build-up play, capable of playing as a deep-lying playmaker, a double pivot, or an interior midfielder. During training, Michel has been testing him as a second central midfielder or a defensive pivot. He's taken it step by step, but Arthur possesses the qualities to make a real difference for Girona, and his expected debut is on Friday of this week. I'm sure you'll be on the edge of your seats waiting to see how Arthur Melo does. So I will keep an eye on him. You know, and I will keep you updated. Now, there is nothing in sport today to do with Luis Diaz. He's been mentioned, you know, with a few different things. Been mentioned by Barcelona today. I'll probably touch on that in another video, but not in the newspapers, not in the print version today. Maybe tomorrow he will be. I think it was a journalist at Sport has maybe said something. I can't remember. I've got the notes on my phone to do another video about that. All sorts of bizarre claims coming from Spain at the moment. Liverpool being mentioned quite a lot. I don't know. I've touched on it. Most of the stuff is coming from a platform or an outlet called featurehes.net, which is a very speculative platform, throwing Liverpool's name around left, right, and centre. Luis Diaz getting a lot of mentions at the moment, and not just on, you know, with the clickbaiting aggregators and things like that. So it could be that his agent is at work. That's something that we need to look at. You know that he rejected an offer from Liverpool in November. That was reported in December. Then in January it was mentioned again. But I'm a little bit confused, and this is where I try to be as honest with you as I can. In January, I don't know if the media, the Spanish media, were referring to a second contract offer from Liverpool had rejected, or whether they were talking about the one in November. So we know there's at least one contract offer being rejected by Diaz, and the reason for that, reported by the Catalan media, by Sport, was that he rejected it because he felt it didn't reflect his contribution and his value as a team. He felt undervalued by Liverpool with what they were offering him, kind of alluded by some of the other players like Konate and Virgil van Dijk. People associated to them are kind of giving that lowballing impression. We don't know if it's true, but it all certainly seems to tie in. Now, what the Catalan media was saying, or Sport was saying in December, was Liverpool, well, you know, they were confident that they could do something, but if he didn't agree by the end of this season, Liverpool were going to sell him in the summer. Now, that could be the plan all along. Maybe I should say this for the other bit, I don't know, but maybe you won't get a chance to watch it. But last summer, you know, the Liverpool clique of journalists was saying that Diaz was not available, but the Catalan media were insisting that Liverpool had set a price. But Barcelona couldn't do anything at the time because of their financial problems that have now been resolved. I've noticed some Liverpool sites and Twitter twats and all that keep mentioning that due to Barcelona's financial problems, they haven't got any financial problems. They've resolved that, and they're now back on this 1-1 rule. So basically, it means, you know, one out to get one in kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting. I think we're going to see more Luis Diaz. I did predict it a few weeks ago. I said I think we're going to see more and more of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he left in the summer, guys, at all. And I just think that, excluding any mentions on featurehes.net, which would be like reading some of the shitty team talk, the other fucking stupid aggregating websites and things. It's like that, the equivalent. That's like a Spanish equivalent. You wouldn't pay attention to featureheads, you know. But the thing is, Luis Diaz is being mentioned by more credible journalists and outlets, I think. So I'm starting to think his agent is at play. Now, it could be bluff to try and get a better deal with Liverpool, or he could genuinely be trying to move him out. And I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on Luis Diaz being at Liverpool next season. But it's not in today's papers, all right? It's certainly not in today's papers. So this is a little bit different, if you know what I mean. This is supposed to be a review of what is and isn't in the Spanish papers. And because Luis Diaz is being mentioned today, I just wanted to point out to you, he's not being mentioned in the papers at the moment. Maybe tomorrow. I think we will see something, and I've been right with that so far. So let's see what happens on that front. I'm going to leave you with that, guys, all right? Obviously, it's Champions League fixtures at the moment, so the Spanish media are, dominated with that and whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to leave you with that. What did you think about that Man City flag? Like, I thought that was a bit it backfired immensely, didn't it? So anyway, I was delighted. I got my win. So I'll leave it with you. If you appreciate this video, please thumbs up this video. Please drop me a comment if there's anything in this video that interests you. I'm sure you've got something to say about Arthur Melo. And if you want to buy me a coffee, then please do hit the super thanks button, the love heart under the video, and I'll give you a shout out in tomorrow morning's briefing and let everyone know how much of a legend you are. I was in the cafe this morning. I had 4 coffees this morning, 2 while I was reviewing the newspapers, and then I also sent a newsletter update out today. The feedback from that's been immense. It was a detailed update, if you like. If you're not subscribed, it's completely free. There's no advertising or bullshit or anything like that. Look in the video description of this video or any of my videos and you'll see the link to the newsletter. Jump on it and you'll get the next one. But today's was very interesting, I thought. So all right guys, anyway, I'll leave you with that. Thumbs up, comment, coffee, all good. Todo bien. Speak to you tomorrow. Hooray.